DC Multiverse!
How's it going, super friends? Welcome back to my channel and to my review of the brand new DC Multiverse Kyle Rayner and Kilowog 2-pack from McFarlane Toys. This 2-pack is a rehash of the previously released Kyle Rayner action figure and a brand new Kilowog action figure. A character that I'm sure a lot of us have been super excitedly waiting for quite a while now. The back of the box showcases artwork of each character. You can see Kilowog, you can see Kyle Rayner, and the side just says who they are. Out of the box, but not out of the packaging, we can see that this set actually comes with quite a lot in the way of accessories. Can't wait to get these all out. And all out of the package, we can see both the figures together with everything that we came with. Kyle Rayner comes with his trading card, a power battery, 2 sword accessories, 2 construct swords, as well as some samurai construct armor and an extra ring sling in hand that is open for holding on to accessories. While Kilowog comes with his trading card, a power battery, and this great big warhammer. Seriously, this is one crazy big warhammer. But I've yacked enough about these guys just with pictures. Now it's time that we have a look at each one of them in hand, first starting with Kyle Rayner, the Green Lantern. Right off the bat, when I compare him to the previous release of Kyle Rayner, we can tell one major difference, and that is the new release is actually a much darker green tone as opposed to the previously released one on the right-hand side, which was a much lighter green tone. The new one is actually more in line, as you can see here, with the green they used for the other lanterns as a comparison to the lighter one, which, although it's a cool figure, I really like it. It never really fit in with the green that they chose for the other lanterns. And although a lot of people would probably look at this release of Kyle Rayner and say there could have been any other figure chosen to be placed in that 2-pack, I see this as McFarlane taking their chance at correcting a mistake or correcting the color there so that he matches the rest. And I'm definitely very happy to have another Kyle Rayner. He is, as you can see, exactly the same. Where they've painted him, how they've painted him, the suit, the sculpt is 100% the same. It's not different even in the slightest, and I'm okay with that. This is just a straight up redecoed re-release, and I'm cool with that. He is going to have all of the exact same articulation points and the exact same articulation. There will be no different because they didn't use any different parts to make this figure, so why would the articulation be any different? It's going to be exactly the same. So if you've caught any of my previous Kyle Rayner action figure reviews, you know what this guy can do, and you don't need me to go over the articulation for this one currently. I do like this trading card for Kyle Rayner a lot. This is fantastic piece of classic artwork. The back will have a bio too. If you want to pause to read said bio, you can do that as well. Whatever tickles your fancy. And as with the previous Kyle Rayner, as shown before, that samurai armor fits right over him perfectly. One sword can go in one hand. We will pop off the closed fist here and put on the open hand, the grabby, grippy hand, like that. And let's put that great big buster sword in the other one, because let's face it, it's a light construct. It can be as big as he wants it to be, and it doesn't have to weigh anything. There you go. That's him with both swords and the armor. As for Kilowog in hand, well, this is a whole new adventure now, isn't it? The first thing I will point out, before I say all the things I do like, is that my emblem is a little scuffy. Something went a little bit wrong in the paint application process, but other than that, that's the only visual complaint that I have about this guy. Everything else looks pretty darn good for this guy. He's got these really neat sculpted gauntlets like that are worked in. They're actually part of the figure's articulation. They're not actually gauntlets that fit over, they're sculpted pieces. I will say I do wish that with Kilowog here, we had the white gauntlets. I may rectify that situation and paint his gauntlets white. We got that great big ring right here on his fist. Dude, that is a big ring. And you have lots of texture all over this guy as well. The suit itself has texture all over it. It is kind of strange. You can see a seam right here, and that seam is not put to the back. It would have made more sense. That's kind of a weird thing. There's a yellow brush all over the torso of this figure. Is there any on the back? Nope. No yellow brush on the back, just on the front. Legs are all textured right up. You got these big old Kilowog boots. One could argue that technically, since the texture is the same on the legs as also with the boots, that those were intended to be black, but I'm not going to paint mine. I want my Kilowog to have completely green boots. Kilowog's face looks absolutely fantastic. It looks like a chewed up piece of bubble gum, which is essentially what it's supposed to look like. It just looks really gnarly and Kilowoggy. The eyes have been painted really nicely as well. There's a wash over top of it. Even my teeth have been painted quite nice. So honestly, no complaints whatsoever with Kilowog's face profile. Because Kilowog's lantern is so big and different, I'm going to focus on it for a second here. I am really, really loving this lantern. I think that this is fantastic for Kilowog. It would be kind of neat if there was some kind of weird light up feature with these where you press down the top and then the front would light up. Not sure what that is in the front. I believe it's probably hollow. It's probably hollow. And now we're seeing the inside of the lantern. Here is that ginormous killer hammer one more time up close. I am loving this hammer. This is so cool. This is probably, like I said, my favorite of the Green Lantern construct accessories to come in packed with any of the Green Lantern figures that McFarlane has made. Even the handle, the hilt, is just beautiful. This is such a fantastic little accessory. Got a close-up here of Kilowog. He's got the white gloves. Just saying, I really wish Kilowog had white gloves, and he does in this card. The card looks pretty good. We got some bio data file stuff on the back, which you can pause to read if you'd like to, as usual. And if not, then we will just get to the articulation portion of this video. I want to see what this Kilowog has to offer as far as posability. So the first thing I'm checking are the arms. They don't go quite up into a T as high as I'm sure a lot of people at home would like, but that's still not bad at all. That's pretty good for a big figure. He's got these sockets right here as well that cover up any ugly leftovers from using that articulation point. You can make his arms obviously go all the way up if you turn them like that. And then of course we have a bicep swivel, which is going to do a 360 turn. Of course, we have the elbows. What do they do considering they are single jointed? What do we get with the elbows? Well, we get about that. That's what we're going to get from those single jointies. They don't really close in that much, but at least it's 90 degrees. Wrists on a big old rounded hinge. And what else do they do? Of course, they're going to spin around 360. So there's a hinge and a 360 spin. Kilowog's noodle is on a ball joint, and it bobbles around as much as you'd expect. It's definitely hindered by the fact of what kind of a head sculpt it is, but you know, that certainly could be a lot worse. Yeah, that's not too bad. Torso actually has a lot of articulation. No complaints at all about how much articulation that torso has. The waist is clearly going to do 360. So what does he have if I mash them together? Yeah, that's pretty good. Down here, oh, you heard that? That's McFarlane's regular clickety-clack groin. Not bad. Opens right up. The diaper or the undies or whatever, they move it. Oh, whoa, I pulled his whole darn leg off. Okay, wow, that was something. Okay, something to be aware of. Just be aware that if you pull too hard, the leg might come off. That might be a thing. I didn't even do that on purpose, but okay, what do we have in the way of a thigh cut? That's actually pretty good. Big figure, has quite a bit in the way of what would be a thigh cut. Then what do we have here for knee articulation? Double jointed, articulates right up. I'm going to say that is what you're going to get upward before, you know, the leg comes off like it did to me, which kind of stank. And then, of course, we have ankle articulation by way of a sculpted big rounded hinge like that, up and down. It's got a pivot, and we have the toe articulation. Just for funsies with Kilowog, the comparison I'm going to make is, well, going to be a Kilowog figure at first. Here's what he is compared to the DC Direct Kilowog. And then, of course, I'm going to have him next to the existing Kyle Rayner Green Lantern and some other lanterns from the Lantern Corps. Anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. It means a lot to me, and I will see you with the next one. Have a DC day, everybody, and take care.